2 Kings chapter 11. Athaliah, queen of Judah. When Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, the king of Judah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the royal offspring. But Jehosheba, the daughter of King Joram of Judah and half-sister of Ahaziah, took Joash the son of Ahaziah and abducted him from among the king's sons who were to be killed, and hid him and his nurse in the bedroom. So they hid him from Athaliah, and he was not put to death. So Joash was hidden with his nurse in the house for 6 years, while Athaliah reigned over the land. Now over the 7th year, Jehoiada, the priest, Jehoshabe's husband, sent for the captains of hundreds of the Karaites and of the guard, and brought them to the house of the Lord. Then he made a covenant with them, and he put them under oath in the house of the Lord, and showed them and the king's hidden son. He commanded them, saying, "This is the thing that you shall do. A third of you who come in reporting for duty on the Sabbath shall keep watch over the king's house. A third shall also be at the city gates, and a third at the gates behind. So you shall keep watch over the palace. 2 units of you, all those who go off duty on the Sabbath, shall also keep watch over the house of the Lord for the protection of the king. You shall surround the young king, each man with weapons in his hands, and whoever comes through the ranks shall be put to death. You are to be with the king when he goes in and when he comes out." The captains of the hundreds acted in accordance with everything that Jehoiada the priest commanded, and each of them took his men who were with them on duty. And then when they were off duty, they came to the priest. The priest gave to the captain of hundreds spears and shields that had been King David's, which were in the house of the Lord. And the weapons stood, each man with weapons in his hand, from the right side to the left side of the temple, by the altar and by the temple, all around the king. Then Jehoiada brought out the king's son and put the crown on him and gave him the testimony, a copy of the Mosaic law. And they made him king and anointed him. They clapped their hands and said, "Long live the king." And it says, when they gave him testimony, Deuteronomy prescribes the duties of the king with regard to the preservation of God's law. By putting a copy of the law in Joash's hand and the crown on his head, Jehoiada presented him as the rightful heir to the throne. The term testimony recalls the covenant, emphasizing that Joash's coronation was given both its scriptural warrant and its rightful connection to the Davidic covenant. And then it says, when Athaliah heard the sound of the guards and of the people, she went into the house of the Lord to the people. When she looked, behold, there stood the young king on the platform by the pillar, as was customary on such occasions, and the captains and the trumpeters were beside the king, and all the people of the land rejoicing and blowing the trumpets. Then Athaliah tore her clothes and cried, "Treason, treason!" Then Jehoiada the priest commanded the captains of hundreds appointed over them, said, "Take her out between the ranks, and whoever follows her put to death with the sword." For the priest had said, "Let her not be put to death in the house of the Lord." So they seized her, and she went through the horses' entrance to the king's house, and she was put to death there. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people, that they would be the Lord's people, also between the king and the people to be his subjects. Then all the people of the land went to the house of Baal and tore it down. They utterly smashed his altar and put his images to pieces, and they put Mattan, the priest of Baal, to death in front of the altars. And Jehoiada the priest appointed officers over the house of the Lord. Then he took the captains of hundreds, the Karaites, the royal bodyguards, the guards, and all the people of the land, and they brought the young king down from the house of the Lord and came by way of the guards' gates to the king's house. And the little Joash sat on the throne of the kings. So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city of Jerusalem was quiet, for they had put Athaliah to death with the sword. And Joash was 7 years old when he became king. So this is crazy, because Athaliah is trying to kill the royal family, but God is protecting this one little boy. I love it. Who is hidden for 6 years inside this temple. It's a reminder that God preserves his plan no matter what. Like, I don't care who does what. Even when evil seems to be taking over, God still preserves his plan. But even though it looks like it's forgotten, it's actually protected. All right, we're going to read about him tomorrow, so I'll see ya.